everyone, I'm Emily.
And I'm Sarah,
and welcome to Horses Around the Globe.
In this video, we are taking a trip to a country that has been called the Land of the Horse. It is a country where there are as many horses as there are people. Let's go!
Today we travel to the continent of Asia, to a country that lies between Russia and China. It is the country of Mongolia.
Mongolia is one of the top 10 countries in the world that has the largest horse population. Mongolia is a special country with a rich history that has impacted life throughout the world. And it is believed that nowhere have horses been more intertwined with the lives and history of a people than in Mongolia.
A look at the culture and life of the Mongolian people and their respect for the horse reveals why. Mongols call themselves the horse people, and their love for horses run deep.
For Mongolians, horses are best friends. A horse is a man's shadow. It goes with him wherever he goes. Everything revolves around the horse. Even today, we worship the horse. It is one of our treasures.
And indeed, horses have been an important part of Mongolian history and permeate all aspects of traditional Mongolian life and culture. Horses exist in Mongolian myths, folklore, poetry, and religious life.
It was the traditional Mongolian belief that a person's soul was symbolized as the wind horse. The wind horse, as a treasured equine, is also depicted on the state emblem of Mongolia as a winged horse, and is used by its government on official documents.
During ancient times, when a Mongol warrior died, his horse would be killed and buried with him. Mare's milk is also placed along with the dead for them to drink. At death, Mongolians believe that one rides to heaven on a horse.
Horses are believed to have spirits that can help or hurt their owner after death. When a dead horse's spirit is content, its owner's herd will do well. If the horse's spirit is not happy, then the herd will fail.
In the Mongolian polytheistic religious beliefs, among their deities there are mounted horse-riding gods. Mongolians believe that these gods would defend men, keep them from misfortune, and increase their possessions.
In Mongolian shamanism, everyone possesses a guardian spirit called a solda. Solda Tengri is an equestrian war god. This god was one of the Tengri, the highest group of divinities in Mongolian shamanism, and is depicted as an armored warrior riding a horse. As a war god, Solda Tengri was responsible for protecting his followers from their enemies.
Gesser Khan is a protective god of warriors and of herds, especially the herds of horses, and he also bestows good luck at hunting.
In Mongolia, the horse is always present in song, in stories, and in art. In Mongolian folklore, there are tales of Mongols of magical horses. In one story, a Mongolian Robin Hood-like figure stole livestock from the rich and gave them to the poor. One day he was being pursued by lawmen on horseback, and he came to a river his horse could not cross. It looked like he would soon be caught, but seeing a mountain in the distance, he prayed to it for help, and his horse rose from the ground and flew over the river to the top of the mountain.
There is also a frequently recurring theme in Mongolian folk stories of a young foal who becomes separated from his family and must make his way in the world alone. This type of story is descriptive of what is commonly found in Mongolian culture.
Mongolian epic poems always pair a special horse to the hero. In Mongolian epics, horses save their riders in battle and even fight alongside them. The horse may be born at the same time as the hero or just before the hero. It possesses great strength, speed, magic, and intelligence. The horse may have the power to magically change its shape. It provides the hero with counsel and can even predict the future. Something that occurs frequently is the disaster that results when the hero does not take heed and follow his horse's advice.
The horse is in Mongolian music through its songs that both imitate horse sounds and reverence the horse. An excerpt from an ancient long song called The Invisible Hanshin Mountain says, "The invisible Hanshin Mountain is in my mind, and my loyal fine horses are galloping in my heart."
In honor of the horse, Mongolians have a special horse head fiddle called the Morin Kur that has strings that are made of hair from the horse's tail and is an ancestor of the violin. Originally, the entire fiddle was made from horse parts. In addition to the strings on the instrument and the bow being made of horse hair, the handle of the horse head fiddle was made of horse ribs, and the base was made of horse skin.
Music played on the Morin Kur is said to represent the movement and sounds of a horse.
There are a few horse-themed legends that tell of the origin of the Morin Kur.
One legend tells of a shepherd who had received a flying horse as a gift. He would mount it at night and fly to meet the woman he was in love with, but a jealous woman had the horse's wings cut off so that the horse fell from the air and died. The grieving shepherd made a horsehead fiddle from the wingless horse's skin and tail hair and used it to play mournful songs about his beloved horse.
Another legend about the origin of the horsehead fiddle claims that it was invented by a boy named Soka, or Sohu. After a wicked lord killed the boy's prized white horse, the horse's spirit came to Soka in a dream and instructed him to make an instrument from the horse's body so that the two can still be together and neither would be lonely.
Another legend says, once upon a time there was a poor man. He had a wonderful steed. The horse was a special one. It was faster than a bird and could instantaneously cover great distances. But one day he found his horse dead near his girth. Heartbroken, he began to make a fiddle from his horse's bones, tendons, and hair. Then he fixed the horse's head to the handle and, overcome with grief, lay his own head on it to unite himself spiritually to his dead friend. So he started to play the Morin Kur, describing his beloved steed's steps, gallop, hurdle, trotting, and neighing. Thus goes the ancient legend about the origin of the Morin Kur.
The Morin Kur is such a treasured instrument that every Mongolian family strives to have a Morin Kur in their home, even though they are handmade and fairly expensive instruments.
Besides being used as a means of transportation, in Mongolia, every part of the horse is useful. Dried horse manure is used for fuel, horse hair is woven into robes, the leather of horse skin is made into boots, horse bones are turned into fiddle bars, and horse meat is eaten.
Mongolians also drink mare's milk. The milk may be drunk raw or is fermented into a drink called arag, also known as kumis in other countries, which is the traditional national beverage of Mongolia.
Mare's milk is thinner than cow's milk and is said to be so sweet that it seems like it has sugar added. It is the sugar content that allows it to be fermented.
In addition to being the most popular Mongolian drink beverage, arag is used to treat illnesses and for blessings, ceremonies, celebrations, and purification.
Horses are present in Mongolian playtime and sport. One of the most common Mongolian games is the horse race, which is played with cleaned and polished sheep ankle bones. Several ankle bones are lined to represent a racing track, and other bones are used to represent participants' horses. Players throw the ankle bones and move their horse forward each time it falls on the side that represents the horse. The first player who reaches the end of the track wins.
Horse racing is a favorite sport, and Mongolian races occur throughout the year. During Gadam, the annual cultural festival of the three manly sports of wrestling, archery, and horse racing, which celebrates Mongolia's history, around 180,000 horses raced throughout the country. Originally, the riders were Mongolian youth between the ages of 5 and 13, but with the passing of the new child protection laws, the minimum age of participants was raised to 7 years old. Because of the length of the races, lightweight jockeys are preferred. But despite their young age, the Mongolian youth that compete as jockeys are trained to race. Before the race, jockeys sing to their horses a special song of praise and encouragement called Jingo, to encourage them to be brave and run fast. Horses aged 2 years old and older are raced, and the distance of the race is according to their age and is from 10 to 20 miles long.
Prizes are awarded to the top 5 horses in each class, with the top 3 given gold, silver, and bronze medals. The exception is that the horse that finishes last in the 2-year-old horse race is also given a prize. The horse is called Bayan Kudud, meaning full stomach. Since this is the first year of the horse's life to be eligible to race, and since he came in last, it is said that he was last place because of a full stomach. A song is sung to the Bayan Kudud, wishing him victory in the coming years.
In addition to horse racing during Mongolia's Nadam, Mongolia is home to the Mongol Derby, which holds the Guinness Book title for the longest multi-horse race in the world. Not only is it the longest race in the world, it is also the toughest race as well. The 10-day race recreates the 621-mile message system established by Genghis Khan to carry messages by horse across the Mongol Empire. More about that later. Riders from different countries compete in the race, changing horses every 25 miles. But the race is not for the faint of heart. It is the ultimate thrilling endurance race and comes with considerable risks and dangers.
The equestrianists, the organizers of the race, issued a warning to all who consider competing that, warning, these are genuinely dangerous things to do. You cannot overestimate the risks involved in taking part in this adventure. Your chances of being seriously injured or dying as a result of taking part are high. Individuals who have taken part in past adventures have been permanently disfigured, seriously disabled, and even lost their life.
To enter the race costs $14,500, which includes the Derby entrance fee, a custom-made saddle, food, drink, and lodging with 29 Mongolian families along the race path during the 10-day race, as well as covering the cost for the 25 Mongolian horses, plus 3 training horses and a number of spares in the case of the unexpected that will be needed to race. The medical response team, the veterinarians, and 250 Mongolian herdsmen who care for the horses, among other race-related expenses.
The last person to win the race was a 70-year-old gentleman named Bob Long, who was from right here in the United States. Along with being the winner, Bob was also the oldest person to ever compete. The youngest person to win was 19-year-old Laura Pryor Palmer, who was also the first woman to ever win.
Mongolia has a long history with horses. The president of the Mongolian Association for Conservation of Nature and the Environment said, "It is not possible to imagine Mongolian history without horses." I think it is not possible to view the future of Mongolia without horses as well. Mongolia is not Mongolia without horses.
With the help of horses in the 13th century, Genghis Khan, as he is known in Mongolia, or Genghis Khan, as he is known throughout the world, rose to power to establish the Mongolian Empire, which became the largest contiguous empire in world history. The infamous Mongols would come to conquer lands from Asia all the way to Central Europe. Genghis Khan is reported to have said it is easy to conquer the world from the back of a horse. The Great Wall of China was come to be built to keep the Mongols out.
The Mongol soldier relied on his horses to provide him with food, drink, transportation, armor, shoes, ornamentation, bowstring, rope, fire, sport, music, hunting, entertainment, spiritual power, and in the case of his death, a mount to ride in the afterlife.
During the time of Genghis Khan, Mongol horse archers were capable of feats such as sliding down the side of their horse to shield their body from enemy arrows, while simultaneously holding their bow under the horse's chin and returning fire at a full gallop.
Each warrior usually brought at least 3 to 5 horses with him as remounts. In this way, there was always a fresh supply of horses available to the warrior, and it would prevent the horses from getting exhausted beyond use.
Also under the rule of Genghis Khan, a system of communication similar to the famous Pony Express of the American West was established. Genghis Khan's system had stations with horses in strategic locations across the entire empire. Messages were carried rapidly throughout the Mongol Empire by a relay system in which riders would pass messages from station to station, switching to a fresh horse each time. This system allowed commands to be delivered quickly and news to be brought without delay to the capital.
Famous Italian explorer Marco Polo, who lived with the Mongols for 17 years and was an emissary to Mongolian leader Kublai Khan, in the writings about his travels told of the warrior princess Kutulan, great-niece of Kublai Khan and great-great-granddaughter of Genghis Khan. She was an expert horsewoman, a war advisor, and was a brave and skillful wrestler. She was the undefeated wrestling champion and had amassed 10,000 horses from wrestling matches, challenging men who were interested in marrying her. It is said that she had more horses than the emperor himself.
Horses are such a part of traditional nomadic Mongolian life that the saying goes, a Mongol without a horse is like a bird without wings.
It is said that Mongolians do not learn to ride, they are born to ride. It is said that they are born in the saddle and grow up on horseback. Before a child can even hang on by themselves, parents will place them on a horse and hold them there. By the age of 4, children are riding horses with their parents. By age 6, children can ride in races. By age 10, they are learning to make their own tack.
It has been reported that when you stay with a horse herder family, you can ask them to find your horse that fits your riding skills, and their kids can accompany you to teach about Mongolian horses.
Now, although today Mongolia has changed because of its urban growth, with most of Mongolia's population now living in cities, most people there can still ride. Many kids that are born in the city go to the countryside for vacations with their parents and learn to ride horses.
For the nomadic Mongolians, where horses are still an integral part of their lives, Mongolian horses live a semi-wild life where they roam freely, forage for their own food, and are managed by herd stallions instead of the supervision from a herdsman. Barns and stables are not common, and horses live outdoors all year, dealing with extreme temperatures, sometimes ranging from over 110 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer down to negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter. Mongol horses do not require much hoof care. They have solid, strong hooves that are adapted to life on the Mongolian terrain. It is because of the terrain that their feet stay in good shape as the land itself files down and manicures their feet, and they rarely experience foot problems. Horses do not get baths, nor are they fed foods like grain and hay. They graze on the steppes and dig through the snow with their hooves to find grass to eat in winter. For water, they eat snow or drink from rivers and lakes. Because the horses basically take care of themselves, they cost little to nothing to raise, which is much different from horse care, management, and expenses here in our western part of the world and culture.
Despite living in harsh conditions, most horses live to be 20 to 30 years old. Mongolian horsemen are knowledgeable in all aspects of horse care. This is because historically they do not typically use outside experts such as trainers, farriers, or veterinarians, and therefore most herdsmen do everything themselves. For problems that are difficult beyond their capabilities, local elders may be consulted, or they may resort to seeking out the expertise of a vet. For the most part, horse care is managed through their own efforts. Horse care knowledge is also passed down orally from parent to child.
It is typical for a nomadic household to have over 200 horses. A herdsman may own one or several herds of horses. With so many horses, there are horses that are ridden somewhat infrequently. Yet each family member has his or her own horse that they ride regularly. The horses that are ridden daily are mostly tied up to a hitching post.
When a new couple marries, they are given a gift of horses by the parents on both the husband and wife sides. Each family will give the couple 10 to 15 horses apiece and 2 stallions so that they can start up a herd of their own.
A man with many horses is considered wealthy. Horses are symbols of wealth to Mongolian herdsmen. While people in the cities value their possessions and automobiles and other personal property, to the herdsmen their main assets are horses, and status is gained from their horses who have earned medals through winning races.
In Mongolia, horses are fairly cheap to buy. A reasonable Mongolian horse costs about $300.
And what about the breed? The Mongolian horse is native to Mongolia, originating there, and the breed has existed from ancient times up to today relatively unchanged. It has been found to be one of the oldest horse breeds.
Mongol horses are short, ranging in size from 12 to 14 hands, and have a stocky build, with relatively short but strong legs and a large head. Mongolian horses are a wide variety of colors. They weigh about 500 to 600 pounds.
Though Mongolian horses are small, they are capable of carrying quite large and heavy riders. It is said that a Mongol horse weighing only 550 pounds can carry the equivalent of another horse on its back. A team of 4 Mongol horses, when pulling a cart, can pull a load of 4,400 pounds. That is over 2 tons for over 30 miles a day.
The characteristics and traits of Mongolian horses from different regions of Mongolia vary. It is said that desert horses have larger feet than average, like camel's feet. Mountain horses are short and particularly strong. Steppe horses are the tallest, fastest variety of Mongol horses. Specifically, the eastern Khinty and Sukhotar steppe provinces are widely considered to produce the fastest horses in the country. Dark-cat horses are known for their strength.
Mongolia is also home to the wild Przewalski horse, which is called Taki by the Mongol people. While all horses are important to the Mongolians, Taki are especially important. Taki means spirit or spiritual in Mongolian, and Mongolians consider these horses a symbol of their national heritage. Mongolians have an expression, as fast as Taki, and herders all have a dream of having their mares bred with Taki to have a breed of fast horses. But unfortunately, the Taki escaped getting caught and always got away from our catching poles, said a Mongolian herder.
The Taki went extinct in the wild in the late 1960s, but several programs have since reintroduced the wild horse to Mongolia. The history of Mongols is closely related to horses, and Taki were and are still worshipped by Mongols.
Mongolian horses have also found their way in the history of other countries. During World War II, Mongolia was the sole supplier of horses for the Soviet Union, providing 500,000 of them. A memorial statue depicting Mongolian horses carrying heavy guns to Berlin was set up in Moscow.
Also impacting American history, Reckless, a Mongolian mare that served in the Marine Corps during the Korean War, became the only horse in U.S. history to have been promoted to the rank of sergeant. The horse made 51 solo trips during a 5-day battle in March 1953, carrying nearly 10,000 pounds of ammunition and explosives from a supply depot to the front lines. She also evacuated wounded and dead from the battlefield and quickly earned the respect of all the Marines who served with her.
For her exemplary service to the Marine Corps, Sergeant Reckless was awarded 2 Purple Hearts for the wounds received during the Battle of Vegas, a Marine Corps Good Conduct Medal, a Presidential Unit Citation with Bronze Star, the National Defense Service Medal, a Korean Service Medal, the United Nations Korea Medal, a Navy Unit Commendation, and a Republic of Korea Presidential Unit Citation. She would wear these awards on her horse blanket, plus a French Beauregard with the 5th Marines earned in World War I.
As a symbol of diplomacy, it is a traditional custom of Mongolian political leaders to give a horse as a gift to political dignitaries of other countries. Traditionally, a sign of great respect, the gift of a horse is one of the most culturally significant ways to honor another individual in Mongolia. Several political dignitaries from the U.S. have been honored with a Mongolian gift, including former President Donald Trump and Vice President Joe Biden during the Obama administration. The Mongolian horse that was given to President Trump was actually a gift to his youngest son, Barron, who was 13 years old at the time. President Trump named the horse Victory. Vice President Joe Biden named his Mongolian gift horse Celtic, that name being his Secret Service code name.
Wow, that was a lot. Mongolia has quite an interesting and fascinating relationship in history with horses.
You're right. You know, being a people who are so closely bonded with their horses, Mongols also have a large vocabulary of horse-related terms and expressions. For instance, when welcoming someone, it is said, "Have you ridden well?" And when Mongolians go to the bathroom, they say, "They are going to see my horse." And there are over 500 words in the Mongolian language describing the traits of horses, with 250 terms for coat color pattern alone.
What's also interesting is that Mongolians don't traditionally name their horses like we do. Instead, they use descriptive words to refer to their horses, like a black velvet mare.
Well, everyone, we hope that you enjoyed this video about horses in Mongolian culture. If you would like to learn more about Mongolia, you can check out the links in our description below.
Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to click the bell to be notified of new videos and updates. Also, mosey on over to our website at sistershorsing.com for more horse content. And be sure to follow us on our Sisters Horsing Around Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and TikTok social media accounts so that you won't miss a thing. Once again, I'm Emily.
And I'm Sarah.
And thanks for watching!